Hey guys, Ryan King here, and I'm the keyboard instructor for worshipartistry.com. In today's YouTube lesson, we're going to take a look at one of our 101 keyboard lessons that deals with intervals. And specifically, we're going to look at the chapter on steps. Now, if you want to see the entire lesson, you need to click the link and head over to Worship Artistry where you can sign up for a free account. Not only do we teach you how to play today's worship songs, but we also teach you technique and fundamentals of playing your instrument, which ultimately helps you to become a better musician. So be sure to click the link and sign up for that free account. But just in case you don't have time and you want to check out a YouTube video, this is for you. An interval is simply the distance from one note to another note. And intervals are made up of what we call steps. Now we have two different kinds of steps. We have a half step and a whole step. Now a half step is simply the distance from one note to the very next note. So if we take middle C, for instance, and we go to the very next note beside it, this is C sharp, also known as D flat, that is a half step. So I've gone from C to C sharp, that's a half step. If I go to the next note, to D, that's a half step. To the next note, E flat, that's a half step. To E, half step, half step, half step, and so on and so forth. So that's a half step. Now I also mentioned we have whole steps. A whole step is simply two half steps combined together. So if we start on middle C and go up to C sharp and then to D, that's two half steps. Here's one, here's two. So the distance from C to D is a whole step. Again, if I go D to E flat and then E flat to E, the distance from D to E is a whole step. So I have C to D is a whole step, E to F is a half step because there's no note in between. You can see that we have a pattern of 2 and 3 black keys, but there's no note in between. So we have E to F is a half step, and then F to G, whole step, whole step, whole step, and then another half step. As you can see, between B and C, there's no black key, so this is a half step. So again, intervals are made up of steps, half steps and whole steps. Another way of thinking about a whole step is kind of like a sandwich. You have one note, you have another note, and then you have one note in between. So if we took middle C and then D, and in between is one note. So we have C to D as a whole step because we have one note in between. D to E, one note in between. That's a whole step. So again, we have half steps, which is the distance from one note to the very next note beside it. And then you have whole steps, which is two half steps combined, or you can think of it kind of like a sandwich where you have one note, another note, and one note in between. So intervals are made up of steps. Be sure to click the link and head over to worshipartistry.com where you can sign up for a free account today. Every lesson comes with a music video where you can change different video angles, as well as step-by-step instruction for different sections of the song. We also have loop videos that you can practice along to, as well as sheet music, chord charts, guitar tabs, and a whole lot more. So what are you waiting for? Click the link and sign up for a free account today.